Hello, hello. Oh, I'm gonna take off my glasses so you don't have the glare. But then I can't really see, so it is a problem. I might put them back on. I am Susie Torres. I am the Utah ambassador for the Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research. I usually do these videos on Sunday, but it didn't happen yesterday, so I'm getting it done today. So today we're working on what is sarcoidosis and the organs involved. So you can see it here at stopsarcoidosis.org. And I'm not sure how long this is going to take, so this might be a to be continued one. I am definitely going to have to put my glasses back on, put my vanity aside. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So it starts by saying that by definition, sarcoidosis is a systemic disease. It affects multiple organs in the body. It is most common thought to be a lung disease, but sarcoidosis does affect multiple organs. And many of the organs that may be involved, as well as complications, inflammation, and fibrosis in these organs that can arise are detailed below. So that's what we're going to talk about. The lungs. So that's what most people think of when they think of sarcoidosis, because that is usually how it's diagnosed. I have watched some videos on YouTube that suggest that maybe it's related to tuberculosis. We don't know if that's true or not, but I thought it was an interesting theory. There's a series of videos called by Ben Garside on YouTube. Fabulous. I thought it was really interesting. However, it is very sciencey, so if you're not a science nerd like I am, you might not enjoy it. But I like it because he draws everything out on paper and he uses different colors, and it makes it easy for me to understand. So it says 90% or more of people with sarcoidosis have lung involvement. So almost everybody. You get these little granulomas in your lungs. So whether they have symptoms or not. So some people with lung sarcoidosis do not have any symptoms. Some of the symptoms could be a dry cough, trouble breathing, wheezing, or pain with breathing. You can have chest pain, tightness in your chest, or just discomfort in your chest, or coughing up blood, which is rare, especially in the early stages of sarcoidosis. So I will tell you what I've had. My cough comes and goes, but I do have a dry cough. It's not productive. I do have shortness of breath and trouble breathing. However, so far my pulmonary function tests, they all come back normal. I just got a new inhaler. Let me show you. It is called levolbuterol. Can you see that? Levolbuterol. And the reason I like this is because it doesn't make me all jittery. I have a hard time with the albuterol, with the inhalers and the nebulizers, because they make me really jittery and I don't like it. But that has been working pretty good. The only thing is my pulmonologist was hesitant to prescribe it because she said lots of times insurance companies will not pay for it. So that might be a problem. But it's working really good for me. I've gone to the ER lots of times for chest pain. And when you're not sure what's going on, it's important to get that checked out, because it could, there are other things that go on in your chest, you know, like a heart attack that can kill you a lot faster than sarcoidosis. Let's see. So there are many problems in your lungs that can be caused by sarcoidosis, such as pulmonary fibrosis. That's where you get scarring in your lungs. Let's see. And then it says as the scar tissue builds up, it can make it harder for your lungs to work properly. And it's also called interstitial lung disease. There's fibrocystic disease. That's an advanced form of lung disease. And that's where the scars are blocking your airways. Pulmonary hypertension That's where scar tissue narrows or blocks the arteries in the lungs. It can cause high blood pressure, and it forces your heart to work harder to pump the blood through. And over time, your heart muscle will build up and weaken, which makes it harder to deliver oxygen to your lungs. Your heart and your lungs work together very closely. So I've been curious about the pulmonary hypertension because I do have a problem with hypertension, but I don't know, nobody's ever said I have pulmonary hypertension, so I guess I probably do not have that. I do not have fibrosis, thankfully. Let's see. And then there's, let's try to say this, bronchiectasis. That's a condition where the walls of the bronchi, those are the little air tubes in your lungs, thicken due to chronic inflammation or granulomas. And over time, they're no longer able to clear out the mucus. That makes you get more infections. I guess I'm doing pretty good. I don't have these things, although I do have granulomas in my lungs. And then there's aspergilloma. It's a clump of fungus that forms in healed lung scars and enlarged airways and can cause bleeding in the lungs. I haven't heard of that. That sounds pretty scary. Okay, so here's where mine is more prevalent, is the lymph nodes. So if you're not familiar, your lymph nodes is like your defense system. It fights off disease. Like in cancer, there's a form called lymphoma. That means it's in your lymphatic system. So sarcoidosis affects the lymph nodes in up to 90% of people with sarcoidosis. The lymph nodes are glands that are found throughout your body. So like in mine, when I had my PET scan, you could see that I had it in my lymph nodes from my jaw all the way down to my groin. So you have lymph nodes that go all the way down your spine, and they also go into every organ. So pretty much all of my lymphatic system, but primarily central, I think so, is where we saw it on the PET scan. That's where your body makes and stores white blood cells. And when sarcoidosis targets your lymph glands, they get bigger and they can be uncomfortable. And it says but they rarely cause medical problems unless they press on organs or blood vessels. That's interesting. So, well, let me finish this, then I'll tell you about me. Most commonly, it's the lymph glands in the chest that are affected, but that can be hard to detect without an x-ray. Some of the other places affected can be the neck, under the chin, your armpit, and down in your groin. So, so you may have noticed when you have like a flu virus or a cold that your lymph nodes will swell up. They're not usually, it says they're not usually tender with sarcoidosis, but I have noticed mine be tender. What I was gonna say is the difference when you have a virus, when you get better, the lymph nodes go down. And with sarcoidosis, I don't feel like mine go down. Sorry, got a text message. So, yeah, that's interesting. So how it has affected me, well, they couldn't see it on an x-ray, which I don't totally understand that, but my lymph nodes in my chest are huge. For my diagnosis, they biopsied, so they cut this right here, they cut a hole. I went down behind my sternum and biopsied all the lymph nodes down here, and they went up here and biopsied these, and they're all really big. I can feel them. And in my chest, they take up space that's supposed to be for my lungs. And so I think my shortness of breath is more associated with my lymph nodes than with my lungs themselves, because my lungs actually seem to be doing pretty well, even though they've got the granulomas inside. So that took me about 10 minutes. So I guess this is going to be a longer part of the series, because I just covered 2 organs. So next time we'll try to cover at least 2 more. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.